I think one point that or one thread that I try to keep in this interview is take the time to know who you are and what you want. And it's not, get out of the habit of trying to say something impressive to a recruiter, to anybody that you come by, but really find that thing that really you're passionate about, the thing that you do when nobody's asking you to do. Because if you can align your day job with your passion, you will go much further than trying to fit into a mold that's not for you.
I think it's important that whatever job you ultimately take, it speaks to a passion that you have. I tell people this is my LinkedIn profile, and it's kind of in a bit of a flux right now, but it's going to change in a bit. Is you need to attach yourself to a mission in life and not to a company or an academic institution. I mean, you do by virtue of going through academic institutions and going through companies, they shape you. But I think when you think about career longevity and ultimately happiness, that long-term journey, I think you find yourself in a much better place if you find, if from the get-go or as you go on, you try to attach yourself to a mission, a vision, an impact, or, an impact that you want to have on the community that, that matters to you, or the communities that, that matter to you. I think why that is important is that there are going to be times when you want to switch companies. There are going to be times where, you might decide to take a bit of a different direction. Things also happen. You get laid off, and, there are mass firings or whatever. And I find that if you make your North Star a mission and a vision, it's very easy for you to pivot when needed. It's very easy for you to understand, okay, this opportunity makes sense. This opportunity doesn't make sense as much, right? Because you know what your mission, vision, what you're hoping to impact, and what you're hoping to contribute to society. So find a problem, pick that problem, and then piece together over time the skill sets, the expertise, the opportunities that are going to serve you to be able to help make the impact and the change in your community that you want to see. And so that's how I tell people with in terms of thinking about alignment. It's never easy. I think, sometimes out of college, you get a job that you don't necessarily like because of whatever the job experience was, and that, what your recruiting experience was. But if you have that mission and that vision, you'll find ways to okay, this has been great. It's afforded me, X, Y, Z opportunity to learn X, X, Y, and Z, but now I need to pivot. And this is exactly what I want to go for.
I guess immediately what I'm looking at is beginning a tenure track assistant professorship in computer science at the University of Florida. And so if you look at it, there's a very limited number of Black computer science faculty in the nation and in the world. And one of my goal is to create a more equitable space in computing. And I think that requires bringing more students who look like myself, but just generally bringing students from all over into the space. And I think there's multiple ways I can begin to address, some of these biases and other issues that we think about as it relates to AI. So one, I think not a lot of people are used to having a Black PhD advisor. And I think that's that's one way you can influence how other people look and view Black students. And by having students from a variety of backgrounds, I get a sense of, how they view and interact with the world, and that insight may also help me in me trying to bring more Black students into this field. Additionally, as a PhD and a researcher, I can now recruit Black students to be my students and to work underneath me to address some of these problems directly.